hard like a criminal. The hip-hop fans.
We've done this before.
If you told someone to write a SHINee song, like, this is what I would expect, like, an AI to spit out.
They had a giant plastic bag with all the
Filled
little
with-
plastic bags, and then they released it over the ocean.
Viewer discretion is advised. Your fave will be criticized.
That's Chris.
That's Shan.
And welcome to CCTV, the nonstop pop show.
And we will be rating and going track by track through SHINee's 8th Korean album, Hard.
Looking for an awesome global pop music podcast? Chris and I have the inside scoop with extensive experience performing on stage and working at record labels. We review and deep dive into your favorite artists' songs and careers, analyzing all of the creative and business decisions along the way. Join us on Patreon at patreon.com/cctvpops and become a part of our amazing crew, including Lisette, Lily, Emily, Kyria, and Juliet. And subscribe now because we are 1K deep, and let's explore the world of pop music together.
Yes, and we're both huge fans of SHINee. Yay, and we're so excited they're finally back. And if you're new to the show, definitely go check out our SHINee Pop 101 episode where we walk through their whole career so far, all the business decisions they made, all the title tracks that they had. But today, we're deep diving into Hard.
That's perfect. Yes, we are. So excited for this one. So Hard was released in June 2023, and Hard is SHINee's 8th Korean album and also marks their 15th anniversary. Noting that it would contain genres SHINee has never experienced before, the group mentioned that this release is the start of a new chapter for the group. And to promote this album, the group did their first in-person Korean concert in almost 7 years and have also appeared on various variety shows. So, that being said, we will now go track by track and discuss the production, vocals, and lyrics and give our ratings for each song.
And first up is Hard, just done by Kenzie, Andrew Choi, and No to Z Cat.
Oh, Noisy Cat.
Oh.
I just realized, I'm like, it's a Korean
Oh,
producer.
Korean too. Yes, Noisy Cat. That makes sense. I'm sorry.
Let's go.
This was the title track from the album, and SHINee wanted to come back with something they'd never done before, and the song is inspired by boom bap, 90s hip hop, and R&B. And I heard, I don't know if this is true, so Shawls, let me know if this is true, but apparently SM wanted Juice as the title track and not this one. So SHINee was the one who pushed for this one. So do we agree?
Crying. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're like the least gangsterish
I know.
group ever. Like, I love it. It's not like messy, but not at the same time. But you know, you could be sassy and gangsterish. You know, you can be a gangsta boo. There was this one, I think, K-pop like podcast. I think on Twitter, I like replied to them. It was so funny. They were like, SHINee is in their Bone Thugs and Harmony bag right now. Like,
Yes.
I was like, yeah, I guess they got melodies and hip hop. You know, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I first heard the song, I was like, this sounds like an NCT track. You know, typical, like, it's hard not to compare. But when you are from the same company, it kind of just, it happens, but it shouldn't happen this obviously. And for me, I feel like I was a little bit, not annoyed, but a little bit disappointed. I don't even know the word, but there wasn't like a positive feeling at first, like at all. I don't know. The boys do deserve to go a little hard. I will give them that. Like, they've been the quirky middle child at SM Entertainment for so long.
Yeah.
So this is kind of cool. Like, they've always like the little weird kids, you know? But it's not SHINee enough for me. Like, there are so many ways that you can tackle hip hop as a sound, R&B as a sound. Like, 2000s hip hop would have been great for them. It was smooth. It was cool. Like the Ryan Leslie productions, the things like that. I don't think old school hip hop was like the right thing for them as a group. But it doesn't mean that the song is bad. It's just one of those things where I'm like, dang, this doesn't really feel like SHINee. And I feel like with Don't Call Me, even though it was a little bit jarring, I was like, what the heck's going on? It still felt like them because it was like they were still singing.
Yes, it was melodic.
Boy, that's the word. I just think it's so funny to hear like the normal Adam Dowell boys talking about hard and criminal hard like a beat. It's just, it's interesting. I will say like highlights though, piano was great because they have piano and Don't Call Me. So it's like, it's kind of like interwoven. And I do appreciate that at least. And of course the singing is there. I just wish that they didn't have like the NCT styling, like the high note at the end. Like that's not Onu. Onu, yeah, he can hit it, but that's not him.
So do you like the song?
We'll see at the end of this rating.
Interesting. Okay, cool. So for me, so to give some context first, I did
Yeah.
buy the virtual Beyond Live ticket for Shiny
Oh.
World 6. So my first time hearing the track was at almost 3 a.m. During that performance, so they did it at the encore.
Oh my
So
God.
I have to give a shout out to Tony Ann, who is the VP of Creative at RCA Records, because she actually came over and we watched the live stream together, so we got to react
Love.
together.
Love
And
that.
we were exactly the same as you. Our first thought, we literally looked at each other and we're like, this is an NCT 127 song. And yes, I've gone down the YouTube comments and the Reddit threads and everything. I've heard the Showls, your arguments about it, that SHINee has always experimented with new sounds. They've taken risks with their title tracks. And yes, they have done more hip hop tracks like Get Down and Hold You and all those. At the end of the day, though, NCT 127, though they are newer, this is their lane. Like, this is what they're known for.
Yeah.
And so regardless of whether the fact that SHINee can do multiple sounds or all that stuff, don't not even take any of that into account. This is NCT's sound. NCT 127 specifically's sound.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
the comparison is built in there. Like, sorry. Like you
Absolutely.
can't
Yeah.
argue out of that.
Yeah.
Regardless, though, I do enjoy the song, but I cannot tell if it's because I'm biased, to be very honest.
Oh.
But I was thinking, I was like, if NCT 127 did this, I would probably still enjoy it. I think, because I think as a song, it's fun. I like the piano riff. I think it's super, super cool.
Yeah.
And I love how powerful it is. And there are a lot of dynamics in the production. Like, it gets super lush in the pre-chorus. I like the chorus where it starts off, chill, hard like criminal, hard like a beat. And then you get the 90s hip hop, like yelling, and the beat kicks in, and, the hip hop hands come out for them. So it's super catchy, right? It's super catchy, and I enjoy it. Like, when it comes on, I enjoy it. But I agree with you. It's just not them. I think the whole kind of 90s influence, and then, of course, you get that very signature SM R&B bridge as well.
Yeah.
So there are elements of it where I'm like, okay, vocally, like, they are so distinctive that it makes it them in some way. But I will always, I think, see it as a 127 derivative, unfortunately. So I appreciate it as a song. I appreciate what they were going for, but definitely not even close to being one of my top SHINee title tracks at all. Yeah. But going to the music video, what did you think? I know you mentioned it was kind of weird seeing them try to be so hard. Did they pull it off for you?
It's just one of those things that was another ad and talking about, we gonna knock you out. I said, how you gonna
hard like a criminal?
Yeah.
The hip
I'm
hop
like, y'all
hands.
went from sitting there bouncing on trampolines and doing mic dance. You gonna beat them down with the mic stand? What the hell you gonna do? This video does have a little bit of whimsy in it. I do appreciate that they are walking up a stair of almost like a Penrose staircase of pianos. So there is that quirkiness in it. Again, as the quirky middle child, they held it down. I do appreciate it. There are some like more contemporary or like SM contemporary visuals, like them in front of the LED screen. It's a little lazy, but in that combination of that, I know, and the editing is cool. I think one of my favorite things is that they really honed in on not the gangster aspect, even though the styling was like hip hop. The piano was the focus. They're inside of piano with the you can see the mallets, and they're dancing in front of a broken piano. And again, I think like that make it really cool, and it's still very weird. And the animations in between, I don't know what that means, but it was fun. And it's a silhouette of a member. You don't know what member, and that's good. It's a shame that Onu couldn't really do this, but his health definitely takes precedent over him going hard. But yeah, I think it's fun that they wanted to try this, and you can tell that they really want to, And it's so funny watching Key like smirking the whole time, like giving just smiles. It's great. And then Taemin is sitting there, Taemin's not hip hop. He's more like alternative. I don't know how to explain it, but his last album, I wouldn't have thought him to do this.
Yeah.
But it's fun for them to see like how they explore it. And then Minho is just furrowing his brows to like the end of the world at this point. He's so fine. It's okay.
I mean, to give it to them, they're going for it. I'm going to be honest.
Yes,
I was actually
absolutely.
thinking maybe Onu would find this the most difficult because to me, he's the least hard. Like, he's
He's a
not a hip
cinnamon
hop
roll.
kid, you know?
No,
And
so
so,
cute.
in the few scenes that we do have him in, I actually do think he does a good job overall.
Yes.
I think I am a little annoyed at the fact that he's not in the final shot. Like, I was like, you guys couldn't take just like a scene from before just for that last shot, so it's all
Come
four of them.
on. Yes.
I found that a little odd. But other than that, I thought they did a good job of including him throughout. I did actually
Yeah.
read a theory on Reddit that the storyline of the music video is that they're looking for Onu the whole time, the other three. And that Onu is like supposed to be like kind of hidden the whole time, which I'm sorry, guys. Like, that just makes no sense to me. I know you're reaching and trying, but I really think he just couldn't
Just
make it
make
to the
it.
whole shoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say, I think the music video, it feels generic for SM, which I hate because SHINee has some
Yeah,
amazing music videos and very interesting visuals throughout their career. And this
Yeah.
video is exactly what I would expect from SM. You have the LED screen, you have like the
box.
random effects. Like you have Minho standing on that rock, which I'm pretty sure has been used in previous music videos before by SHINee, or maybe not as a group, but I think like there's a Key music video where they're like on a rock, or like I don't know, like it was just like, what is this? Like that whole piano thing, I thought it looked cool, but I was like, I feel like I've seen this before. Like, have NCT done this? Like, have Super
they've
Junior
done
done
it.
this?
And
Like,
Don't Call Me. They've done it.
Oh,
There's a
ma-
piano.
oh, well, great. They've done it before, right? So the whole thing I just found a bit like odd because I was just like, this isn't tailored to them,
No.
which I didn't love.
Yeah.
So I get that maybe they wanted to take a risk with the comeback
Yeah.
and just try something different and maybe try to appeal to the younger SM fans. But emulating another popular group, I don't think was the way to do that. I'm curious what NCT fans think of it, if they even think of it at all.
Oh.
I have seen, again, from reading all the Reddit threads and stuff, it seems very divisive amongst the SHINee world.
Yeah,
Like,
makes
some
sense.
are all for it, some are like, what the heck is this? You know?
It makes sense. Again, it kind of just goes back to what I was saying. There's so many genres in hip hop that you could tackle, and you pick the old school West Coast style. You just do better. So with that being said, my ranking for this, because it is a SHINee track, regardless of how good it is, I think I'm going to give it a 7.5 just for the sake of like the execution. Yeah, it's there, but conceptually, it does not really. It's just no. 7.5. It's just average for me as a song. Anyway, even if it was an NCT track, I'd be like, it's almost like right next to AO in terms of
I
like
AO.
I like AO too, but AO takes precedent before this one. You know, supersedes for me. The song's not bad, and there's so many like fun parts of it. But I think just personally, my own preference, you're gonna find out in the next track. I just feel like this is kind of the second to.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I'll go a little higher. I'll go an 8 because I do still enjoy it, and I think they do pull it off. Like, even in the performances, I do think they pull it off as well as they can. So I still enjoy it. I think it will play a good role in their shows. You know, it has a whole lot of energy to it. So yeah.
Up next, we have Juice by Kenzie, Dem Joints, and Adrian McKinnon. All these names have worked with SM for so long. It is bananas in pajamas.
Yes.
all right?
Incoming.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Dem Joints is one of those people, like, I would love to talk to him, pick his brain, because he's one of those producers that has a style that is distinctive, but it's not so copy and paste, because you're just like, he did this, didn't he? You have to hear the producer tag to be like, there it is. It is you, isn't it? I think he did Don't Call Me as well, just to kind of keep it like in the frame of like, what else has he done for SHINee most recently? And it was that one. Kenzie, of course, Adrian McKinnon, like they're both very good songwriters, and Kenzie's been with SM for like ever. I feel like with SM, thinking that this would be like the better track. I think personally, for my own taste, this is a little bit more palatable, and because it's so R&B based, but has rap featurings or rap stylings in it, it feels a little bit more like, okay, SHINee's trying to do hip hop, as opposed to this whole like hard like
I'm not just snapping.
Sorry. When you have such quirky members, then they're talking about some hard, like, listen, they're smirk. Yeah. Again, Minho, I think Minho definitely masculine, makes him a little bit more masculine for me. But yeah, nothing wrong with being sassy. But yeah, I feel like because it is a little bit more R&B influence, you get the opportunity to throw more hip hop sounds into it. And you can explore the genre a little bit more. And I appreciate that. I think the bridge is probably one of my favorite parts. Like I love their voices. We all love their voices. So we're all here. So I got the light stick. It's no secret. The group is super talented. I just think the song is strong because you have these smooth voices kind of guiding you along as the production is kind of in your face a little bit at certain points. I do like the lyrics. Do like that the lyrics are confident and they're just giving themselves like, oh, big ups. Like, oh, I'm all that. It's a little flirty. It's nice to not hear them pining over women. So it's nice to kind of have them step into that. I think lyrically though, it's a little bit strange because they'll be like, I know you like me. I know you like me. And then they're saying, you got the juice. Wait, no, who's got the juice? Because so-and-so likes you, but she's got the juice, or they got the juice. So that was a little disconnect there, but it's not like a huge, big deal. Just little things like that, like lyrically speaking, because I'm pretty sure you're going to get right into the production. I just want to know, was that like a English lyric that wasn't converted? Or was it like a call and response thing where it's like, I know this person likes me. They're like, yeah, because you got the juice. I wish they would have pointed at each other performances as opposed to like Minho coming out like, yo, But overall, I think I like this song a little bit more because it does feel like a bunch of singing boys got put on a track that was a little bit more catered toward them,
Yeah.
So
During my 3 a.m. discussion with Tony Ann after the concert, I actually said to her, I was like, maybe Juice should have been the single if they were going to go for the hip hop thing. So that's very interesting. If SM really did prefer this one. However, I still think the comparisons would still be there. Maybe not so much NCT 127, but I hear some EXO here, like with Obsession, like some of their like harder stuff. And then maybe even Super M. I don't know why. I was getting Super M here. Like I was seeing like Ten and Taeyong doing that. I think you like me. I could like feel that. And I don't love that. that I thought that immediately. Anyway. Production wise, I mean, Dim Joints is great. I think the vocal loop that's throughout the whole thing is really cool. There's really interesting synths throughout, interesting flourishes that lend themselves well to like really good choreography. I thought the performance video that they put out and all the comeback performances and stuff have been really fun. Yeah. And hard as well, like difficult for sure.
Totally.
Yeah. I think you like me. That's a fun hook. It's fun to sing along to.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I found it annoying at first, but I don't. I actually think it's quite fun. When we were watching them perform it at SHINee World, Tony Ann turned to me and she was like, this makes me think of a Justin Timberlake song. Because there's a song called Tunnel Vision on 2020 that starts with, I know you like. And it's kind of has that same cadence almost.
Yeah.
So that was just an interesting comparison to this random Justin Timberlake album track. But I really do enjoy the chorus. It's more dynamic than hard, I think.
Yeah.
Very typical SM, but again, I think could have been written for another boy group. One of my favorite moments, though, I do want to shout out. In the second verse during Onu's line, like right before the pre-chorus, there's like a really interesting layer where you have Minho like rapping underneath him, but then there's all these harmonies that suddenly come out. So it was just a really interesting just production choice there. So just wanted to shout that out. And then, like I mentioned, the choreography is really, really cool. I do kind of wish this wasn't the support track because you're about to hear us talk about the rest of the album, and these two are complete outliers.
Dude.
So I kind of wish they tried to do, another song that maybe just represented the album a bit better. But I do think they performed it really, really well. There's really awesome footwork in here. Yeah, like when they're in that little diagonal in the second verse, or like isolated hands when they're all kind of facing in different directions for that pre-chorus. They do that like tutting thing. Like it was really enjoyable, and they kill it. I think this one felt a little more authentic than hard. I think hard, they really are just trying really hard. So I enjoyed these performances. Yeah.
Me too. I think my favorite part of the choreography is Keith's part. I know it's so weird. Like it's literally like the first verse. He puts his little foot out and hits it on the heel. I was done after that. I was like, I'm sold. I love it. Like it was bad. But I think the red was awesome. And you're right. Now that I'm thinking about the whole EXO thing, you said that Tony Ann noticed JT. We have compared EXO to JT and NSYNC as a whole, so it's not that far removed. Now that you said it, I kind of sort of agree. But yeah, I think because you said there's more musicality and more melody in the chorus, I like this a little bit more. So my rating is going to definitely reflect that. But what do you rate this? Because I'm curious now.
So I actually prefer Hard as a song, I think.
Okay,
so
okay,
I'll
okay.
give this one a 7.5. I still think it's fun.
I'm going to just switch with you. I'll give it an 8 because it's
Yeah.
not like amazing. And also back to what you were saying about not having any other song to kind of call back to the hip hop thing. Oh boy, I'm going to say it later, but you're right.
Yeah,
So.
because with track 3, which is 10x or 10 times, as they say in the song, which was done by Andreas Oberg, Ninos Hana, Felix Back, Rico Green, and Lee Hyung Suk. We're back to the funkiness, the pop funkiness that SHINee is known for. And it's quite jarring, the sudden difference, because it gets very light and kind of bright and chill and warm, which those other 2 songs were not. Will say, I guess this song has a fun piano riff, so maybe that was an attempt to tie it back to Hard. But honestly, this feels like the true start to the album. Like those 2, the first 2 are just such outliers. And then the rest of the album is so cohesive. There's a really interesting like build of energy throughout the rest of the songs. It kind of goes up and then back down. Like it could have been an 8-track album. Like I was very confused by the first 2 songs.
No, oh my God, no, you're so right. Oh, it's a shame. It's a shame.
But for this one, I do appreciate the jazz influence. And it, I did mention it's kind of funky. I like how chill it is. I was reading a review, I think it was on the bias list, though, where they said it was almost too chill. Which I kind of get that. But shout out to Stephanie from the K-pop cast. I did ask on Twitter what everyone's favorite song was or what stood out to them. And she said this one was kind of an immediate standout. So thank you for replying to us, Stephanie. But yeah, I actually do enjoy the structure for this one. I think it's kind of cool that it starts with the raps. Like you don't really know where the verses are going, and each part of the verse is completely different between the 2. Yeah. So I kind of appreciate that. It kind of doesn't have a very clear structure. And I do think the chorus is fun. It's a little simple, I will say. But I think the harmonies stack. And then the falsetto in it is nice.
It helps.
And it's catchy. And then there's some great ad-libs. Onu's little run at the end, that little crazy in love. Oh, that little moment. But yeah, it's smooth, but honestly mildly forgettable. But not bad. But just kind of there. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the song serves as a buffer at this point.
Yeah, like a reset.
Yeah, like a little palate cleanser. Come on, look at us with the words and the synonyms. I do feel like the song feels safe, almost like Beyonce's Cozy on the Renaissance. Remember, not Cozy, Cuff It. We were talking about this. It's like all these songs are like experimental and you're trying new things, and then suddenly it's like, cuff it, cuff it, cuff it, cuff it, baby. Same thing with this. It's like hard, I got the juice, and suddenly 10 times, y'all like this. We've done this before. 10, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it was saved, and it's true to form. Yes, obviously, but I'm like, what are you trying to do? So honestly, I feel like this kind of serves as like a buffer, an hors d'oeuvre, if you will. I feel like the song probably could have benefited from a sonic switch up, because I think the simplicity may be a little bit like, okay, it's fine. But again, I guess you don't want to give too much at first. I do appreciate that the bridge did try to give me a little something different, but then it fell flat a little bit after a while. And again, this is not a knock on the boys. It's just the way the song was written. It's not a knock on the producers as well. It's not that either. But when you're putting this whole album together and you're thinking about this group, you want to keep wowing the fans. Like, it's been a long time. We got all the members back together, but like not really. It would have been nice to kind of have their first track after the hip hop ones, the ones that's true to form, be like, wow, that's it. But again, I guess it's kind of the way the sequencing, the order of the album was meant to be. Kind of just leads you into it like, hey guys, we just kind of rocked your world a little bit. Let's put the tectonic plates back together now and get you some semblance of normalcy here.
As an intro, it makes sense, which is why I feel like this is where the true album starts, because it does set you up kind of for the rest of it. But as a standalone song, I think it's just okay. And then I think they did perform it. So they did perform it on the Road Trip comeback show, which was interesting because they did not perform it at SHINee World 6. So I feel like maybe they were just trying to, perform as many different songs possible across the different places. But the performance, I'm sorry, was really boring.
Dude, oh my God.
It looked like they learned that like the day of, like the random dragging the mic stands around each other. And then like the little footwork, I guess, is cute, but they just looked kind of over it also. I'm sure they were tired, but like it was just kind of just meh as a performance. Like that is not something I would show someone to convince them of how great they are as performers.
Yeah.
So I was a little disappointed by that. But I have to take this moment to shout out Minho.
Oh, yeah.
Because so Onu has not been performing with them. He's on hiatus. Minho, throughout that concert, he is pulling his weight, man. He
Totally.
is doing ad libs. He's
Yes.
doing parts where he's using mixed voice and transitioning from his
Yeah.
falsetto back to his, back to his chest voice. Like he
Yeah.
covers some really big moments in the ballads during the concert. I'm so
Yeah.
proud of him. He really killed it for me. And so even
Yes.
in this 10x performance or 10 times performance, he sounds good.
Go ahead, DB, go off. He holds it down. I think this performance probably would have benefited from them having like this lounge-esque kind of thing. It feels like a speakeasy. I think it would have just benefited. It would have benefited from some background or maybe some props aside from the mic stands. And it would have kind of maybe added to their performance. Like, we don't have to dance so much if they're just sitting at the kind of table and trying to be kind of chill and then meeting in the middle. That's just me. As like a, big creative
Yeah.
director, I would have been like, listen, get them props, have it on the stage, let them sit there and sing and snap their fingers or something. Because, unfortunately, this doesn't showcase their talent. And it's a little bit just a little bit average for me. And they're
Yeah.
not average; they're above average. So
So what do you rate this one?
I'm gonna give it a 7 because that's an average score, right? So it's
Yeah.
just
Like, it's not a bad song. It's just kind of like there, like I said. So yeah, a 7 I think is right.
up next we have "Satellite" by Shari Short, Rolo, Josh Cumbee, and Park Tae-won. So this one, what's your thoughts about this one? We're picking up some not some steam, but we're picking up something.
Yes, the energy is picking up for
Yeah.
sure. I really like this one. The harmonies just start it beautiful. And Onu sounds great leading it. I love the melody of this chorus. There's a really cute video of Josh Cumbee like hearing the final mix for the first time.
Oh,
And when he hears Onu's like high notes and that harmony, he
yeah.
gets really excited. And I felt the same way. I think it's really, really beautiful. And the chorus is for sure really, really good on this one. I do think the production is cool as well. Little
Yeah.
percussion bits in here. There's some clicks and snaps, but also like a drum set. And it's all
Yeah.
quite lush as well. So it's all really beautiful. Then it gets a little funky for the bridge. You get those guitar riffs. And then that, hey, yo, that little, little
yeah,
chant
toward the end,
is
yeah.
fun as well. So yeah, I think it's a solid album track and it's more mature as well. So it kind of fits
Yes.
where SHINee are sonically, I think.
Yeah.
And it makes sense as a progression from 10 times. Like it's a lot more energy than that one, but keeps that same kind of vibe. And I enjoy that there's like a slight melancholy to it as well.
Yeah, because the lyrics kind of lend themselves to it. See, you don't have to speak Korean to hear it, and that's good.
Yes,
The top line
that's
is
good
strong.
vocal production right there.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Onu. I like listening to this man. His voice is so good, and that intro makes you miss Junghyun's tone so much. Things like that, because they were like salt and pepper. Like they were so good together.
Yeah.
I appreciate what's there now, obviously, but it's one of those songs where I'm like, oh man. Even with the hip hop songs, I do wonder what he would have done, like if he was still here producing for them, like what could have been with the hip hop, right? Because they great stuff. But yeah, the first verse, I think, has like fun vocal stylings. You have Taemin, who gives a little vocal fry. You have small runs and cadences that switch up really nicely. I think production-wise, like you said, it has this very sentimental feel to it. The strings in the chorus are like building and building, kind of taking you up to the moon. And then, the post-chorus that when it comes in, there's a funky guitar that kind of has you like kind of flying through the stars a little bit. And the song is kind of about this, reckless abandon that the song represents. Like, even if things fall apart, I'm burning up without stopping. Like, I'm just falling into your orbit, the kind of feeling. Like, they still want that lover, even if it is kind of like a little bit dangerous, but not in this like I'm gonna delete, like die way. But it's nice, like they're falling into it and they're loving every minute of it. And the post hook sounds like Aliens to me. For some reason the melody of it is like, it's interesting because you have a very like structured kind of way of singing for that first part of the chorus, but then you get like this and the whole it's something about it feels very like floating in the feels like you're floating in space. I don't know, something about it just feels very like nice and developed, a little bit more developed. And I think just top line wise, the way the melody goes, even in the verses, I enjoy it a little bit more. So yeah, this one definitely kind of helps me get in the mood of the album.
Yes, so I do like this one more. Again, solid album track. I'll give it an 8. How about you?
Same, 8 please.
All right, moving on to track 5, we have Identity, which was done by Jonathan Gusmark, Ludwig Evers, Emily Yonso Kim, Gabriel Brandis, Kazi Opea, and Choi Ji-yoon. And they did perform this on SHINee World 6, and he noted that it was one of his favorites.
Yeah.
And so this song, I remember we were watching the show. During the song, we were like, this is a pride anthem. Like, they released this just in time, the end of June, because that's all about, being yourself and being proud of your identity, and don't compromise for anyone. Be proud of who you are. So I thought that was funny. From what I've seen, it also has been very popular as well. I do think if they were to try and go the safe route for a title track, this could have been a good one, actually.
Yeah.
Because it is a really, really good song, and it's safe. In a sense, it is that kind of dance pop, electro pop kind of thing that is popular now, and that SHINee are just really good at.
Yeah, that's their bag.
Yeah, for sure. I do love the production, the pre-chorus especially as well. I wish they had the live band for this one, because the cymbal hits and the way it gets all like kind of ethereal and stuff is really, really cool. And then there's the second one and the second verse with all the extra Taemin ad-libs, and Key. This whole song is like right in Key's comfort zone as well. Like, he sounds really, really good on this one.
Yeah.
And then I think it's interesting, like, Taemin actually has a little rap moment in this, and I don't think Minho really does. So it's interesting. They're really playing with the vocal roles kind of throughout the whole album. Like, Minho gets to lead part of the chorus as well. And so, I really appreciate that. And Onu, again, and I'm probably going to shout him out like every song, because he sounds amazing. Those ad-libs, like his transition into his mix and everything has improved so much throughout the years. He's really been working at it. And the performance at the show was great. They killed it.
Yeah. I've been watching clips. Bootleg. This is one of those songs where it's like, I'm so glad they didn't give it to NCT. Because even with Superhuman, I'm like, this could have been a SHINee track. Are you kidding me? Things like that. Because it is like, they are so good at these full choruses. Like, again, I know I call them the middle child of SM, but like, honestly, like, they kind of like set the bar pretty high. Everything that came after them, like boy group wise, I was like, but is it a SHINee song though? I mean, EXO was able to kind of differentiate themselves very well, but every single time NCT does like a song that's electro pop oriented, I'm thinking, why did y'all just give this to SHINee? So it's hard not to kind of like, your brother could have done the song too, like it's one of those things. It's not a bad thing. I mean, that's how solid they are. I think, going back to what I was saying earlier around Juice rating review, was that their vocals are so smooth. Even as like a clump of people singing together, they sound like one voice, like, as you always say, like the Bee Gees. They sound like one voice. That comp vocal is so smooth.
And they always do unison vocal as well. A lot of unison choruses, which is so rare in K-pop.
Which is,
weirdly.
Yeah, it's crazy. You have all those members use them. I think this song's another example of why vocalists should take precedent in a lot of groups. Like, I get it. Hip hop is fun. It's cool. I love hip hop. Like, hello, I'm Black. But at the same time, when you focus on like vocalists, you have opportunities to allow them to rap like Taemin does. You have opportunities to let people who are trained in vocal actually take spots. Like, Minho knows how to sing. He's not like a useless, cute member. And it happens a lot in a lot of newer groups, and he's just not falling by the wayside, which I appreciate. And speaking about not falling by the wayside, honey, those performances with him in that harness. Lord Jesus, have mercy. Quick lemonade stand moment. Just, I don't know. So I like the choreography, except in the chorus area, because it got a little like weird with the punching at the ground. It got weird in the choreography. And it's not because they can't dance, but just some of the movements didn't flow for me. But yeah, I like the song altogether. I think it's fun. It's going, again, back into their form. Like, they're getting true to form again. Like, it's feeling like a full SHINee song. It's feeling like a Aqua Pearl song, finally. And I appreciate that.
Yes.
So, yeah, my rating's pretty high on this one.
So what do you give it?
I'm going to give it a 9.
Yeah, I'll also give it a 9. I think it stands out for sure.
The next song is The Feeling by London Noise, Imlay, Adrian McKinnon, and Do Yu Jung. And this was released as a pre-release track in early June to celebrate the group's 15th anniversary, and it was dedicated to the show. And it also had its own music video. So, pre-releases, we love those because people are like, where y'all going with this? You never know what's going to happen with a pre-release.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I was expecting something really cheesy when they said it was for SHINee World, but luckily it wasn't really that. I will
Yeah.
say, though, the first time I heard it, I was a tad underwhelmed.
Hmm.
And I'm
Why so?
actually not sure why. I feel like maybe I
Um,
just wasn't paying full attention to it when I first heard it. But I was kind of like, okay, like this is like a fun end of concert encore song for everyone to jump around. And I didn't really think much more of it. And to be honest,
Okay.
because they didn't release it on streaming or anything afterwards either, I didn't really listen to it again until the
Oh.
album. So I will say, in the context of the album, it actually stands out quite a lot, and it has grown on me a lot. And also, shout out to all of our followers on Twitter, because I also put up a poll that just asked, "What's your favorite song on Hard?"
Mhm.
And The Feeling won. So SHINee World's feeling this one. So
Yeah.
yeah, I am as well. I love the drum and bass production. There's so much energy behind it, but then it's juxtaposed quite nicely with how beautiful the melody is. Like that chorus
Yeah.
melody is so pretty. The harmonies are so nice. And the lyrics are really beautiful as well. And going back to their vocals, they all sound so warm on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like it really is a hug that they're giving to the fans almost. Like that's what this feels like, you know?
Yeah.
And I find that so great. Like all four of them sound super warm on it. I will say though, the more I've listened to it, the I want to feel, that sounds like Anam Dawa Beautiful from the
Oh.
Dreamgirls Misconceptions of Us album. I forget, the Misconceptions of You. I forget which one the Dreamgirl one is. But anyway, that hook is
Oh.
literally almost the same melody. So now I think of that. And I love Beautiful as well. And watching the concert, it really is perfect for a concert encore as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
this has grown on me so much, and it does stand out in the best way on this album.
You know, it's very cathartic, the song. Yeah. It feels like it's just a release. You're right. That I want to feel that I want to feel. It's very like, oh my God, yeah, and I hear it too. Ooh, that's weird. But it's also a good thing too, because you know, we love that song. But
Yes.
yeah, so this song, I like the I want to feel sentimentality. Sentiment? Wow. I made up a whole word, y'all. I like the sentiment of that. Like make you feel happy, make you feel safe. I want to feel happy. I want to feel safe. I want to feel free. And it's such a fun shower song. And I'm like you, like when I hear it, as for the fans, I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. Ugh.
Yeah, those songs are really good.
And I don't understand. Oh God, I'm like, y'all, if this is what you did for me, keep it. But this is actually one of those fan songs I thought was good. I'm not saying about the SHINee song. Sorry, y'all. Don't take that the wrong way. But so even with Monster X, they'll have a fan song, and I'm like, this is what you decided to do. Please, come on, man, come on. So it happens. I do appreciate this. It's really random, but after the I wanna feel da 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 da, like the whole melody, you get Minho. I wanna feel. It's so low, and I appreciate that because you have all these high, bright voices, and you get the I wanna feel. I love that. I think it's interesting that they have like a horn section in the song. It reminds me of
Mhm.
Cheerleader. I was like, are we back like in 2020 whatever? Hang, I sang the Minho thing in the wrong key. It's like I want to feel. Either way, it's still very manly. But yeah, the horns are random. The deep voice is random, and I was like, oh, I appreciate those sounds though, because I wouldn't think to throw Minho in there.
He's singing a lot. It's great.
So it's less random, just more like, oh, unexpected. That's the word I want to use. But can we talk about the video though, please?
Yes,
Really
I
quick.
would love your analysis. So after digging a little bit, this is the same director that did Onu's Circle. And we remember that one. If you haven't seen our review of that, go check that out. But yeah, you know, we knew that one had a lot of hidden meanings, and we didn't really fully get it either. So
That was a cluster.
that makes
duck,
this one
that
make a little more sense, because the trash bags, like, what are the flying trash bags?
Bro, can I tell you that bothered me a bit? Like I wanted to understand, but then I was just like, for me, I was like, oh, is this like American Beauty? Like, you know, or is it like the Katy Perry firework lyric? I don't know.
Yeah.
But what really gets me, kind of grinds my gears a bit, is the fact that they had a giant plastic bag with all the
Filled
little
with-
plastic
Yeah.
bags, and then they released it over the ocean. I was like, F the meaning. You just polluted. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And I hate that they did that. I'm like, who thought this was a good idea? Because why the plastic bags over the building? Like, and I just think of suffocating. It was just very claustrophobic for me in that sense. I would have rather it been like orbs of, you know, aqua pearl lights or something that looks like
Totally.
showels. Because showl, if there's an inside joke that we just don't know because we're not on like threads on the internet,
Yeah.
tell us what the plastic bags mean, because I really tried. Aside from that, the polluting, the littering, the littering.
They
excuse me.
littered with the apples too. Like, why was Key wasting all those apples?
I know, and I try
I don't get
to
it.
kind of look into because I'm kind of like a Key Taman stan. Like I'll like buy the album, listen to the video, watch them like a stalker. I just couldn't figure it out. But I do get Minho's a little bit more because he has a map, and each of the little places on the map had like it was everybody, Ace, Base, different album titles, different, and he was
Yes.
looking for the center, like or either looking for the whole showl, the shiny world was that map. So I was like, oh, that's cute. But everything else, I can honestly say, without a doubt, was confusing. I don't know what the bags were. So if someone could explain it, I would appreciate it. But it doesn't take away from the song. I will say that.
Yes. Yeah. And they looked like they were having fun. Like, I did enjoy them kind of like running around and stuff. I
Yes.
did think it was a little jarring because you can tell Minho was not there for parts of this. Like, are we ever going to get a music video with all four of them this year?
Right.
Maybe not.
Oh no.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I'll give it a 9. How about you?
I will match you. We're picking up speed here. Steam? Steam. But no, I really like this song. I think it fits in the like older catalog as well. Like I could hear this on Odd. I could hear this on Odd.
Totally.
You know? I
Yes.
appreciate this one. And I like that some of these songs are kind of callbacks to the album tracks from, their past lives. I appreciate it. Or past eras, excuse me. Past eras. So yeah, I really do appreciate it. I like it.
The energy is at its peak now on this album because now we have Like It,
Yeah.
which was done by Ryan June, Robin Sternberg, Johan Lindbrandt, Daniel Shaw, Jason Ock, and 1251. I doubt you
12
say.
hours, 51 minutes. Why would you?
I don't know. That's why I was like, did I just read it as a time? Anyway, shout out 12H51M. Yes. So this song is so SHINee.
Yeah.
Like, if you told someone to write a SHINee song, like, this is what I would expect, like, an AI to spit out, almost. You know
I'm
what I
done.
mean?
I'm done.
In
Get
a
off-
good way, though. In a good way.
No,
It's
no.
a good song.
No, you're
but
so
that's,
right.
like,
It's just
literally,
so-
this is SHINee, like, to the T.
So funny, yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's
Go on.
bright, it's catchy, it's high energy, the vocal is super dynamic.
Mhm.
It's just everything that they're good at, you know?
Mhm.
This chorus is so good. I love the harmonized ahs before the bridge. Like, the whole thing is just super dynamic. I love the build throughout it. And then the ahs are behind the final choruses as well. So it's just really
Mhm.
beautiful. You even get a little guitar solo as well, which I love guitar solos. So the whole thing just
Yeah.
sounds super rich, which is really great. And also, to kind of match the feeling as well, it also feels very warm yet again. Like the
Oh.
way it's produced. It's very,
Yes.
very pretty. And again, shout out to Minho. Sings almost the whole bridge right there. So
Yeah.
again, kudos to him. I love that he's being given so much more. They really know now how to use his voice, which I appreciate because it
Yes.
does stand out from the other four in his
Yeah.
tone. So I appreciate that.
Uh-uh.
And loved this at the tour. I remember turning to Tony because I think this was the first new song in the set list at that point, and I was like, "This is good." I was so excited by it, and that little footwork jig that they're doing with each other, and they're all facing each other, I think is all really cute. So thoroughly enjoyed the performance as well.
I think the little piano trill that dun 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 dun, like that trill that they have in the beginning,
Yeah,
love it because then it becomes like the main
the chorus melody.
yeah, the main melody
Yeah.
chorus. Yeah, totally. I like that. It kind of keeps you connected. It doesn't just feel like a random sound. I like that. I like when the production and top line comes together that kind of way because it's so interesting to hear that kind of like triplet kind of dun 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 dun
Mhm.
dun 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 dun. I think that's really fun. And like you said, the mixing is so good. Like the random thing to say, but like I was listening to it, my headphones on. I was like, I feel like I'm getting enveloped. I want to just dance with myself. Like it was just so much fun, and it's nice to hear SHINee-esque songs. Again, it's giving me my Aqua Pearl. I feel like I'm being dipped into this light that they're known for. It's really one of those songs that just fits what they do. But I'm kind of like, wow, interesting. They haven't hit another hip hop situation yet. Like by this time in the album, I was expecting hip hop. This is not a knock on this song. I'm trying to just like randomly saying that, but I'm just like,
Totally.
love this. But it feels like they were like, all aboard, get off the train, and then just left the hip hop right behind. It was just, oh my gosh. I think for me, this song sounds like it could be slotted in that last album, the Don't Call Me album, or repackaged with Atlantis, which is not a bad thing because I done dogged that CD out in my car. Okay. So yeah, I think this is great. And speaking about their live performances, bro, their outfits were giving me traje de charro, that mariachi like band outfit.
Yes.
I said no. I was like, yo, if y'all don't Like, what's going on?
That'd be a great remix right there.
Like, no offense to anyone, but it was giving mariachi for sure. But I do appreciate that they have so much chemistry. Their chemistry together, chemistry with the dancers, and chemistry with the audience. Like, everyone's engaged. And it's so interesting to hear how many different textures and dynamics you can have with just these 4 members. When you have groups that have complete armies of kids switching off, and it still won't have the same effect. Or maybe it does, but you can't really appreciate it because you're like, who the heck was singing just now? You have 4 people who can handle it, hold it down, and then even kind of switch off and be like, oh, you singing this time? Nah, I got you, bro. You can do the ad-libs. It's nice. So again, kudos to the producers and the people who worked on the song who understand their assignment, probably got a brief that was specifically for SHINee. It was like, oh, I know them. We got this.
Yeah, so this is probably the peak of the album for me in a way. Like, not in terms of rating necessarily, but more just kind of like energetically, like this and the feeling. Like, it's just such a great climax to this album, I think. So yeah, this one's up there and it keeps growing on me. I will give it a 9.5.
I'm probably going to match it because I do like it a little bit more than Identity, actually. And a little bit more than the feeling, but the feeling is good on its own. So yeah, I will match you. Look at us matching each other. Y'all don't know this, but like I definitely like heard hard. I was like, I'm not listening to this album. I think I might have to tell Chris we can't do this review.
The horror. Not as you have your SHINee world stick either.
I have no problem admitting that I was wrong. I was wrong. I can admit that I did not have all the answers, Sway. I did not have all the answers. But yeah, let's hop into the next song. And that is Sweet Misery, done by Kella Armitage, Dex, Grant Boughton, Francis Carroll, and Jo Yoon Kyung.
So Taemin mentioned in the concert that this one was one of his favorites, which makes sense because I feel Taemin from this one. Like, he loves the kind of like ethereal, like kind of melancholic,
He's moody
songs. Yeah, he's moody. So this is very him. So that makes sense to me. So yeah, in line with that, it does all feel very internal and reflective the way it's produced. I like that it's kind of ethereal, like I mentioned. Yeah, and there's some cool production flourishes and stuff and choices in here too. Like I like the echoey vocal effect that they have on the chorus. And then it builds into a really beautiful post-chorus where the beat gets a bit dancier. And there's some nice 80s-esque percussion throughout as well. So yeah, I think the whole landscape of this one is quite nice. Vocally, again, they kill it. Tons of emotion in the execution across all 4 of them. Like they've also, as they've matured, which makes sense, they've gotten much better at emoting as well. I feel like they were always a bit dramatic, back then. Like they would really try to emote, like in the ballads and stuff. Yeah. But now it's much more natural, and you can really hear it in this one. One note though, so one of the lines in the chorus is "Sweet Togepi." I don't think I'm saying it right, but that's what I hear. And that's the name of a really cute egg Pokemon. So that's all I hear. Because it's like Sweet Misery, and then it's Sweet Memories, and then the last one is Sweet some Korean word. But it sounds like Togepi to me, so I always think of Togepi.
I love that.
Anyway.
Togepi's adorable. Sorry.
He is adorable. But yes, there's a really nice build throughout the song as well, just to bring it back a little bit. Those final choruses, again, super lush. A lot of really lush sounds throughout this whole album, which I appreciate. But there's some extra harmonies, there's extra ad-libs, there's a bit more energy in that final production. So yeah, it fits this whole concept of Sweet Misery really well. Yeah. It is melancholic, but there's energy behind it, and there is still a brightness to it as well. So yeah, just a really cool track.
Yeah, it is. Oh boy, it's mature, and you're ridiculous. Sweet Togepi.
I don't know what the word is either. Sorry to everyone who speaks Korean, but as a person who doesn't, like I always, hear words I know, right?
That's natural, so, no, it's fine. It's completely natural. I can read it and I still don't know what it means. My Korean's terrible, but I can read it. That is so.
Is it Togepi though? What is it actually?
It's Togepi. Like Togepi. Like it sounds like
okay,
Togepi.
well.
You're not wrong. It's just so funny because now I'm like, I hear it. But yeah, no, this one is the intro production is a little quirky because I was like, what are these little sounds here? What's going on? And I like that, making me curious to know what's happening next. Like I piqued my interest, and I was piqued a little bit, Toka peaked, if you will. And and it really does sound like Taemin. He's such a weirdo. He is such a weirdo, but like in the best way because he's so artistic. And yeah, I can even hear Key doing it because Key's 80s influences.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Totally.
but yeah, like a subunit. I think what makes it the shiny, like shiny full or shiny, very shiny-esque, excuse me, is the fullness of everything. I think that feels like a stadium like chant.
Mm.
Like it feels like a terrace chant. Like the like those kinds of things. I love the terrace chants. If you could put it in a song and make it sound like really good, I appreciate that with all of my heart. Because if you can't speak Korean, like we barely can, it's nice to go, see misery or the ohs. It's just fun. And this song feels so euphoric. And I think you mentioned the bias list earlier. They're A1. I don't know if they have like a podcast or anything, but they're amazing. And they actually caught what I caught too. It sounds like the Code's more sultrier, like like relative.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, Code is freaking amazing.
I think they
This is-
sang Code also in the show, like around
Ugh.
when they had this in set list too, so that
Ugh.
makes sense. Yeah.
Thank you. That's satisfying to hear.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this song takes time to really build and develop. And I think that's really what kind of adds to the sultriness of it. Even though it's kind of like mildly melancholic because of you saying like, oh, sweet misery, like, oh, this is, love hurts kind of
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
It's kind of sassy a little bit. It's a little sultry. And I feel like it brings that sultriness that 10 times should have brought. Like this song sounds like heaven and ooh, but it's a different style of
Yeah.
like sultriness. So I can appreciate both, but I think this is a stronger track for sure.
Yeah. Honestly, at this point in the album, like I forget that 10 times exists.
Oh my goodness.
Because all these other songs have been so much better than it. I'm sorry. Yeah. But I really,
okay.
really like this one.
I'll give it a 9.75.
I'll go a little lower than you. I'll do a 9.5. All right, up next we have Insomnia, which was done by Josh Kumbi, JT Roach, Rolo, and Kim In Hyung. What do you think?
Yeah, so this one, right after Sweet Misery, wow. This one is interesting because, again, when you think about sequencing the order of the songs on the albums, aka y'all, this is nice because it's like a continuation of the reverie that Sweet Misery kind of
Yes.
started. And I thought, oh, wow, this is nice. Kind of keeps the flow. And I think Minho and Key back-to-back rapping was something I never knew I needed. Oh, I was like, oh, I quite like this. And the flows are different. And I'm like, ooh, it kind of fits their personality even, Like Minho's is a little bit strong. And then Keys is a little bit like funky and kind of like he plays around a little bit more. But it's nice. And oh my gosh, the bass line and that pre-chorus is serious. Love it. And I do appreciate the lyrics. Like the song is about being not able to sleep and dreaming about a lover and not being able to reach them, like no matter how much you call out. So it kind of feels like a nightmare. You can't speak, you can't touch them, everything's out of reach. And it just sounds like they're really longing for whomever they're singing for or singing to or whatever. My English is terrible. But yeah, I think one of my highlights, like sonically speaking, is the what's that lyric? It is Midnight Feelings. It's so ooey gooey. It's just like the falsettos there and then the little run. Took me out. I was like, oh yeah, no, this is great. This is great. I didn't know I needed that until it happened. And I'm like, I want it to come again and again. The song is, I think it's kind of like a future bassy kind of thing. Like the synths are very wompy. It reminds me of Adian. And if you all don't know who Adian is, he wrote Move along with Curtis Richardson and Angelique Senelu. So, and he has his own solo project, and this song sounds like what he would have done, which is great because he writes amazing music, obviously. So, like, I really do appreciate that. I think it's so good. And honestly, like, I want to dance with someone when I hear the song. And honestly, I feel like this could have been like a B-side performance single if they would have used a different lead single, like the way they had, was it Odd Eye that they performed?
They did Odd Eye, yeah, with
Exactly. It was
with View.
with View, exactly. So it's like you have a slower song with something that's a little bit more upbeat, like an identity. I would have loved that, and it's in an alternative universe for me. But it's okay. The song is still pretty solid to me. What about you? How
Yeah.
do you feel
Yeah,
about
so
it?
this was the immediate standout to me, actually, when I
Yeah.
first listened to the album. So spoiler alert, it's my favorite one. Yeah. The chorus melody, because it just comes in immediately, is so pretty.
Yeah.
And it totally matches this word, right? Insomnia, where you're tired and you
Yeah.
want to sleep, but your brain is running and you're kind of drowsy, but you're also like frustrated because you want to sleep, but you can't. And you
Mhm.
feel all of that just in
Yeah.
that first chorus. And I find that so
Yeah.
amazing. So shout out to these 4 people that wrote this song.
Yeah. Yes.
And the production reflects that too. You get those like really long synths. You get this kind of like jazzy piano.
Oh, yeah.
And you mentioned the bass line. The bass line's beautiful as well. And yeah,
Yeah.
I think the rap verses are actually very interesting in this because
Mhm.
they're kind of shouting them. And
Like
it
calling
kind
out,
of
like,
yeah. And
Yeah.
you can almost feel that frustration, like I mentioned
Mhm.
earlier, whereas the vocal, like the melodic parts are a little calmer and a little drowsier. So I just think that whole dynamic is really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't stop shouting out how great the 4 of them sound either.
Ah.
Because yeah, that falsetto, Onu at the end, that falsetto, wow.
That's
And then the
sickening.
chorus vocal production as well with the octaves and the harmonies, it's just really full. So yeah, I love this song. I think especially as I continue to listen to it, I think it is up there with some of my favorite SHINee album tracks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, this one's a 10 for me.
I agree. This is why I
What?
couldn't
It
give.
can't all be the same for every song.
No, I'm so sorry, but listen. I'm sorry.
Okay, so just a note to everyone, we're not always this. We've been more recently been in agreement for a lot of our reviews, which I've actually found kind of annoying because I kind of think it's fun when we don't like the same songs. But you know what? It's
sorry.
fine.
But here's the thing. I like Sweet Misery so much. I was like, that's why it's a 9.75. This is the 10 for me. I'm so sorry. But no, he's right. Usually I'm like, yeah, that was crap. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like, he's like,
normally
yeah,
we
no, I
don't
just-
have exactly the same stuff, which is weird.
But this is what happens when we both actually really like the artist. It's kind of hard to like be like, oh, wait, this is really bad if it's not bad, right?
But I think even with like SHINee, I feel like we would rate the title tracks very differently.
But no, you're right, because I don't like hard. That hard can go somewhere.
No,
But
I
you
mean, I
like,
mean among their
Oh.
discography though. Like I think we would probably rank. Let's say
Oh.
if we did a top 5 best
whoa,
SHINee
yeah.
title tracks, which if you'd like us to do that episode, we could. So let us know in the comments or message us. But
Yeah.
I feel like we would choose different ones.
Oh no, definitely not. We have different sentiments about that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why
Yeah.
I'm like surprised. I'm more surprised. Like
Yeah.
I expected this one to be more. I expected us to be more different on this album.
You know what? I kind of did too, because I wasn't trying to listen to this album, and then I fell in love with it, and I was like, okay, fine. Like I said, I was trying to avoid it. I almost text you like, listen, bruh, listen, can we just like just review the song? But you know, I came around, y'all. Like I said, that those 2 first singles, I was like, is this what's gonna be? But no, guys, it's a 10 for me. It's a fat 10. All right, the last song on the album is Gravity by Ludwig Lindell, Distract, Junie, Isle, and Tae Ji Yoon. All right, now. This one is interesting because it's gravity, so something to do with space like satellite. And I was kind of like, what's this going to be like when I saw the track title? For me, I'm still thinking, okay, so there's no hip hop on this. At least with this Insomnia, there was some kind of like hip hop beat moment. You just like, okay, kind of catch a groove real quick. They just gave up. They just gave up, the producers on this one. I don't know. I will say the bass line is a highlight for me, and even the sweetener vocals, they sound great as usual. But gravity being repeated in the chorus as the phrase feels a bit lackluster for me. Especially after this, like, bam, this song, bam, this song, bam, this song's great. Oh yeah, we like this song. And then suddenly we get here, and it's just like, guys, we need something to close out this album. We already put the fan song in the middle of it. You know, that's what it feels like. So for me, that's how I feel. It's a chill, vibey track, and I hate using those adjectives to describe music.
Yeah.
But this is what it feels like. Were the intentions with this one. So I'll be honest with you.
Interesting. Okay, so maybe we're all a little different on this one because I actually do like this one maybe a little more than you do.
Why so?
Because I do think it's really pretty, and I think it actually counters Insomnia really well because this one, in contrast to that one, sounds like you woke up in the morning and it's a really beautiful morning and you slept really, really well and your life is like in a really good place. That's what I
That was
get.
me this morning.
Oh, that's good. That was not
Yeah.
me this morning.
Oh.
Oh, man. But that's what I get from this song. And
Yeah.
so I thought it coming right after Insomnia actually was a really nice way to close the album.
Oh, point made.
Because I think
Point
it's really pretty. It's like, it's smooth and it's calm. I like the
Yeah.
finger snaps. And there are nice piano moments on this too. So maybe they were
Yeah.
hoping that all the different piano moments throughout the
Oh.
album kind of tied it back to Hard. Because to be fair, if you have this album on loop, which I have had for the past few days, if you loop back from Gravity back to Hard, it's actually not that jarring.
Okay.
It's less
appreciate that.
jarring than going from Juice to 10 times. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of works.
Yeah,
So
right. Got you.
in that way, I'll give it to the executive producers or whoever kind of made sure that made sense. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I'll give it that. I actually like the repeated Gravity. I think the harmonies are pretty. I like how breathy it is.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And I think the chorus itself, like the lines in between those repeated Gravity phrases, are different enough that it keeps me interested.
Mhm.
Like, I like the little falsetto ad-libs in it and everything. I think the harmonies in the bridge are also really, really beautiful. So, yeah, I think it's a pretty end to the album. I don't think it's a huge standout track amongst everything, but I think as a track, it's good. I will give it a 7.5.
I'll give it a 7. I mean, I wanted to give it a little bit lower, but it grew on me. But when I was at the gym, I was telling you this a little bit earlier, I was like, this is not, get this off, get this off, get this
It's
off.
not a gym song. It's not
No, but I was trying to get, 2 birds, 1 stone.
Wait, so, but going to the gym and listening to Hard and stuff, did it make you like those songs more?
Hell no. I like the other one.
You needed to like it, I guess. An
Yeah,
identity.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if we're new to our album reviews, because we actually haven't done many K-pop album reviews, so let us know if you like these, so we'll do it more moving
Yes.
forward. But we have a cut or keep section where we have to choose a song to cut and a song that we keep from the album. So the cut, I think I've kind of alluded to it the whole time. I would cut 10x 10 times. Like, it doesn't, I mean,
Okay,
I get it.
Yeah.
As a transition song.
Right.
But I forget its existence once I've listened to the rest of the album. Like, the rest of the album is so much stronger than that song. So,
Well, I think I want to cut Hard. Goodbye. Honestly, I was thinking about cutting Gravity. I was thinking about it.
yeah.
But Hard, again, there's so many different ways you could have done hip hop. Come at me if you want, Shao. I got a light stick to fight y'all off. My point is, there are so many ways they could have done it, and this is just unoriginal, because they didn't produce it. This is a little unoriginal and just not imaginative enough for this group. They deserve so much better, and hip hop is a lot more broader than just some cataloged NCT track. But for my keep, I'm going to keep, it's hard. Okay, I'm going to keep Insomnia. What about you? What are you going to keep?
Yeah, that was my choice as well.
Oh.
I mean, I already spoiled that's my favorite song on the album. Yeah. If I had to choose another one, though, I'd probably pick Like It.
Anyway, what are y'all going to cut and keep, fans? Let us know. I'm curious to know what y'all excited about. And you have to participate. If you're listening to this, let us know on the socials or underneath our YouTube videos or even in the comments of our podcast sections what song you would cut or keep, because we're very curious to hear, because you can't keep it all. Can't have it.
Except that you can.
You can. No, you totally can. Can you imagine?
Oh, man. All right. So overall thoughts on the album. It's the first SHINee album in a few years.
Wow.
What do you think?
You know what? I'll take it. Do I like it as much as a Don't Call Me in the Atlantis Free package? I can't say I like it as much, but I do appreciate that this being an anniversary album, that they didn't get completely shafted with just fillery tracks. Like, it could be a little filler if it was for a different group. Like NCT having some of these songs, this is not their bag. So it would be like it's a great B-side fill, but it wouldn't be a single for them. A couple of these songs on this album could be a single or even a B-side promotion. But like for like a different group or something like TVXQ doing some of this, heck no. No offense. Super no. They fit this and it sounds good. So I really do appreciate it. And I'm hoping that with a repackage that always comes with from SM, we get to, if they do continue to do the hip hop thing, try something new. Give me some cute. Get cute with it, right? But we'll see what happens on that repackage if we get it.
I'm very curious how the campaign will go moving forward. Like, Onu's hiatus is indefinite, so I'm just hope that he's doing fine. Key's wrist is not well. Like, he's been wearing a cast, and Minho mentioned at the concert that, he's not having a great time right now. He also got sick during the comeback performances as well, so he's been having a kind of a rough time. So
That's rough.
I'm curious what they'll do as a group the rest of the year. Because I know they announced some Japanese tour dates towards the end of the year. So I hope that there's a repackage as well. I loved Atlantis. So yeah, I figure they will go do something a bit more them for the repackage, I would think.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, as an album, I think it's a strong album overall. I think, at the end of the day, yes, those first two songs, they stand out a lot. And either
They
you
try.
can appreciate that because it does expand their, scope as artists, or you can just find it a bit jarring as well.
Sure.
And yeah, I kind of get it from both sides.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm a huge SHINee fan. I'm really happy that they're back. There are not many artists I will pay $50 for a virtual concert. I gasped out loud when I saw that price. I was planning dinner with Tony Ann, and I was like buying the ticket, and I was like, it's $50 for a virtual ticket? Like, I have paid way less than that to see people in real life. Like, come on now. But for them, I will do it,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll still support them with these hard promotions. I've watched every comeback performance and stuff. Yeah, I'm just happy that they're back and we don't have to deal with military crap anymore.
Oh boy.
Just excited to see what they do next and excited for hopefully eventually a US tour.
Oh man, it's been a minute.
But I know, they have some stuff they got to work through first. So,
all that being said, what is your final rating for this album?
Ooh, that's
hard.
tough. That's tough because I think those first two songs really do throw it off for me. But I think the rest of the album is quite strong. The majority of the album is very strong, and I will count a lot of them as my favorites. I can see like in the future.
Yeah.
So, you know what? If we're doing more decimals now, I'll maybe do an 8.75. How about you?
I was going to give it a solid fat 8.
Okay.
Because it's a nice comeback. Give me more. Give me more. Sowl or just new fans? Welcome. Hello. Let us know what you all think of the album and let us know what other albums you like to hear us review. And you can hang out with us and our crew members on Patreon to get priority choice. And you can comment below or message us at CCTV Pops on social media. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for our YouTube channel. And if you're enjoying the show on a podcast platform, please give us a follow, a rating, and a review. Until next time, that's Chris.
That's Jan.
We're signing off from CCTV, the Nonstop Pop Show.